Hello and welcome back to the Nerd Fusion podcast. This is episode 25 and it is October 4th, a fine Sunday evening.
It is. Although these come out on Mondays. Maybe we should start lying.
Just start lying.
Just start saying that it's actually the 5th.
But
because that's when they're going to hear it.
But Sevidus, you never lie about anything.
No.
Yeah, you don't lie.
Like, I feel like people that are listening to it right as it come out, like, they're going to be like, oh, well, what?
We could say
we're a
it's
day off.
Monday's podcast, or instead of like today's
You
day.
could say it's the
But
podcast for Monday.
The problem with that is that you don't always post them on time.
No, but I'm getting better at that. So
yes.
the thing, and if we were to say that, well, then I'll just have to stay. I'll force myself to stay up and do it.
Mm-hmm.
This is a way for you to force me
to work more
harder.
Okay. Anyway, it's Sunday.
Although I won't be
4th
doing
of
this for much
October.
longer, so that'll be good.
Are we going to talk about that? No? Okay. Anyway.
No, we're not.
Not yet. So it's horror month. We're just starting into horror month, and as we're recording this, we just finished up the first ever collaborative horror month segment.
What's horror month?
You know what's surprising is that in the 5 years you've done this, I guess this is year 6 or is this year 5?
It's year 5. I miscounted last year.
Okay, so in the 4 years previous to this year you've done this, you've never, in 124 days, had anybody else ever broadcast.
That's because I was very anti-collab. I was solo streamer all the way, and like I always looked at other streamers as competition, and like I shouldn't help them, I shouldn't work with them, I should avoid them. But
what a fucking jerk.
Ever since I've switched that philosophy, I've grown faster and bigger, so I was wrong. And
that's kind of been my philosophy, is that like I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with not collaborating with other casters. It's just faster growth to do it.
I just have a problem generally collaborating on streams that are normal.
Yeah.
So like normal streams, because I'm so interactive with chat,
and you have
I don't want to fucking care about anybody else right now.
And you have a very alpha male persona on your stream. It's hard for you to work that in with someone else.
Yeah. I mean, we've done it before at Pause and all that. I'm able to do it. I just have to ignore chat, which I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just don't like ignoring them. Please, I want your attention. Okay, I'll be your little bear. I'll be your dancing monkey. I'll do whatever the fuck you want, apparently. Jesus. Either way, I don't really do too many collabs just on my normal show, but I do enjoy the occasional
there's
collab.
plenty of examples of casters that have done just fine for themselves, never collaborating. So it's certainly a valid way to go. I just think it's faster to grow.
I mean, if you want to grow, sure. If your only goal is to grow, then that's definitely true.
Yeah. Anyway, that's like the most like shop talk we've ever gotten on this.
Yeah. We was fucking.
How did that happen?
We were like, last night, like you were listening to Jack's podcast, and then I happened to walk by, and I was like, and so I guess just subconscious, because they're always talking about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And so just like subconsciously, I was like, oh wow, fuck, it's in my brain.
Twitch.tv/Jack LaFear for anyone.
Oh my god, that shout out.
That shout out.
How much did you pay us for that?
I think it was 500.
Cool.
That's it? What? You need to go.
So I don't know, Dan. How did you think it went? The
Phantasmagoria.
Phantasmagoria.
I think it went pretty well. Yeah, it was exactly what I was expecting. Us making fun of the game because it's funny.
It was fun. I liked how we did get serious though. There were parts of it where we were like really getting into it.
Yeah, when the old man was like explaining everything, we were all quiet and just listening.
That shit. That was good.
I feel like that was a great title for that. You know, for what we did.
And I have a few more games like that would be great.
Twitter has exploded with people telling us to do that to Harvester.
Yep.
Harvester it's a very similar kind of game as far as clicking.
We'll have to split that into 2 parts because it's about a 12-hour game. Yeah.
And it has combat, so that's very light combat. It's spam. Yeah. It's spam combat. It's Minecraft combat, right? It's click,
click, and it just sort of doesn't need to be there at all.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, and it's still just as funny as far as the video.
And there's Phantasmagoria 2. which we could do as well.
Which does not have that girl's name in it.
Yeah. Yeah, Roberta Williams had nothing to do with it.
Take that, Roberta.
Yeah.
Screw Roberta. Jeez.
I like how that is the official title of the game has her. Like how there's only a few games that have Tom Clancy's done that.
Yeah. Tom Clancy's a big one.
Well, it's a similar thing.
How
for
big
Roberta,
does your
right?
ego
Isn't it
have to be?
Well,
Do you think it's ego or marketing?
both?
I
It's
think-
probably like they had to do that
I'm guessing
to get her on
that
board.
the phrase phantasmagoria is so odd and weird that people wouldn't know what it is. So they're like, okay, people know Roberta Williams because she was huge in the 90s for adventure games. So we'll throw her name right there. People would go, oh, okay, let me check this out.
So hers was probably marketing.
It didn't work though. They didn't make money off that game. It cost.
Well, they spent so much money.
They
on
spent
it.
$4.2 million and probably barely broke 1 million sales, like dollars in from selling the game.
Well, now they're making more. Can you buy the game still on like GOG or something?
Yeah,
maybe,
you can
or-
buy it on GOG. It's like $10.
So hey, there's still, I guess somebody's making.
Does
money
it
off
come
that.
with the DOS emulator?
Yes. GOG.
Well, that's how it's packed. That's how a lot of GOG's stuff is.
Yeah.
Is they package it in a
games
DOS
you can't
box.
get anywhere else. They emulate it for you. And stuff.
They
That's
package it
funny.
in DOSBox.
That's funny.
Yeah, I wonder if they paid DOSBox for that. I don't know.
Probably.
Maybe. Isn't DOSBox like open source? I don't know.
There's got to be some sort of OEM or something.
Something. There is something. Anyway, Horror Month is fun. It's only 4 days into it. Doing
Yeah.
pretty well.
Oh, and yeah, we announced the
They
giveaway.
giveaway. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool.
for anyone that wasn't watching, that's the grand prize for Horror Month, which we've all been itching to talk about because we got to. So it's a high-end PC,
Made by Puget Systems.
and they're a local company, and we got to go tour them.
Tour them.
Their
Hot.
facility.
That's pretty hot. Oh, okay. Yeah, we did get to. This was a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Went down.
and-
They're,
but
they,
we haven't
they're
been
right
able to
next to like a
talk it.
pumpkin patch. Which we were like, this is
awesome.
super
Yeah.
fitting.
So
Yeah.
we talked about Horror Month all the way home from
Yeah.
that field trip.
That was cool. Waffle got like 1 billion minutes of footage. It's a lot of footage.
And one of the employees was a Nerd Fusion fan.
Yep.
So he was
Yeah,
like
he
tweeting
tweeted
about
it.
it while we're there
A little
touring.
tweet, yeah.
We're there touring, and he like tweets about
The
it.
tweet was something like, "Oh my God, the Nerd Fusion guys are here, and I'm the only one who knows who they are." And then he let us film him building a machine, which was pretty awesome. And I guess you guys will see that footage soon.
I
Yeah.
assume he'll make it into the final
Probably
cut.
be in the video.
I assume Waffle will put him in there. Yeah, Waffle's
Yeah.
that's Waffle's assignment. He's on assignment.
He's one of those sick people that actually enjoys editing.
Yeah. So I'm like,
He really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really
I-
gets into editing. And I'm like, dude,
Yeah, I'm
that's
like,
awesome that you
you
exist.
knock yourself out. I'll give you work if you want it.
He's good at it. He's good at it, and
Yeah.
he spends a lot of time at it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I spend 5 minutes editing. I'm like, screw this. I'm not making a thumbnail.
Yeah.
Like when we recorded UHC last time, Minecraft UHC, I like edited all the videos in one shot. I just cut them up. I didn't watch them right. I just cut them up, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do anymore. I'm burnt out already on editing. Like I don't want to open Photoshop right now, so I didn't, and I just used one of the default thumbnails. God, eventually I'll go back and maybe add a thumbnail, but I doubt it.
Such a YouTuber.
Yeah.
In other news, Pause on Pause is officially a father.
Oh my
Yep.
God! And neither of these people we're talking about are here.
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
The first Nerd Fusion baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He is a father. He had his son like what, less than a week ago, a few days ago.
Few
actually.
days, yeah.
A few days ago.
Just a few days ago, and joyous occasions.
Yeah.
Lots. He's been posting pictures on his Instagram.
It's been cute watching him do the dad tweets.
Yeah.
He opened his eyes.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of stuff.
Being a papa.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think he isn't sleeping, so that's always always good.
Yeah, you don't.
He's
do that.
still trying to keep up with his content and stuff, and he's still like very.
That guy posts so many videos. I don't know how he does it.
He's still very much in communication with all of us and everything
yeah,
else. Like
yeah.
it's not like he just went into some hole of fatherhood and was like, I'm dealing with this for the next 3 months. No, he's still
Yeah, not
banging
at
it
all.
out, you know?
And as of right
kinda
now,
cool.
he's definitely planning on making a visit during Horror Month sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be here at some point in the near future. No comments, because it might
Yeah.
change. And so
No comments or promises yet.
we don't want to promise anything that
But
won't
that's-
happen.
But that's currently the plan. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to that. He hasn't even seen the studio yet, has he?
He has. He was.
Oh,
here
that's right. He
for
came
PAX.
for PAX.
He was
that's
here
right.
for PAX,
Cool,
and
cool,
so
cool.
he saw it during PAX.
We're a lot farther along then.
God, when he was here for PAX, he was just beyond words with how awesome this place is.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
You can see the joy in his eyes.
Everyone is, let's be honest.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. This is like, we're living a dream of a lot of casters
Yeah.
to have this kind of setup.
It's true.
I mean, have we showed this place to anybody that hasn't come away going, this is amazing?
No?
I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
So this week we actually improved the studio a little bit. We had the guest broadcasting room painted, as well as the creative studio is essentially now it's painted and it's basically finished minus a computer.
Sevidus did the first cast
So-
from the creative studio. That was
I did my
historical. That was
first-
this morning.
My first Lego broadcast from there.
A Lego machine to do what, Sevidus?
To cheat. It's not. It's basically okay. I'm playing a similar game to like Clicker Heroes or Cookie Clicker, any of these games, a clicker game, but it's one made for CS:GO fans, and so it's Case Clicker, CS:GO Case Clicker, and I just wanted something that would continuously click the screen, so I made it out of Lego, and that was a fun broadcast.
And streamed the whole thing.
And
It's pretty cool.
this week, I will be tackling the air conditioner, and we're going to be mounting. So in our studio at night, the air conditioner turns off because they want to save power, obviously. But we're here, and so there's a little button that we have to push every hour or so just to keep the air or heat when it gets cold, the heat running.
My chat has running jokes about
You getting up to do that?
about Lost. Like, it's been 108 minutes. You need to push the button.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's basically what I'm going to do is we've got some Mindstorm stuff coming in that I can program. I'm going to program a little servo to go boop, boop. I'm actually hitting it right now. We're recording in our conference room, and one of the buttons is here. Boop.
Yep.
So that way we don't have to get up every hour.
Yeah.
and-
Actual
deal
boop,
with
not
it.
simulated.
We should have it make a sound because we
should.
can buy a sound thing for it. Ooh, it's a good idea actually.
Yeah, I hate like in the middle of my cast, I'm like, why am I hot? I'm like, oh, I gotta hit the button.
Oh, Dan, you're always hot.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
It's a curse, really. It's a curse.
Yeah. Hey, what happened this week or last week or whatever? Neither of you care. You do care. I'm going to make you care about
All right.
water on Mars.
Oh, that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
The
That's some
little
big shit.
trickles in the mountain or something.
Yeah, we knew
Nuts.
that there was water on Mars. Like
H2O.
we know H2O exists. We've smashed stuff into Mars and look at the particles flying up. We know that frozen water exists. This is basically there's been a lot of, talk and discussion about thaws and stuff on Mars, and this is sort of validation of the fact that there is quote flowing water.
Yeah,
it's
the
liquid water. Liquid water turns into a liquid on Mars in enough quantity to be visible
Right.
as
And
wet
to-
sand.
To
basically.
leave like shorelines.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like an ocean or a river or anything's there. When we say flowing water, it's like damp sand,
Yeah.
but it's still moving water.
And
through the
everyone's
sand.
all excited because on Earth, there is nowhere on Earth where water has been found where there isn't also life.
It's true.
So
It's
everyone's hoping
yeah.
that this means Martian life.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't even know if people are hoping for that. I mean, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know which I'd prefer. Like both, if there is life there, that's massive. If there's not life there, though, that's just as big, if not bigger.
Well, maybe, because then you could also be like, well, we just haven't found it yet.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that. But like, if
Sure.
there is life as we know it there, fuck, everything just goes crazy.
Wouldn't
there's
the
not,
next
though?
question be then like, is that like formed and developed on Mars, or is that like somehow exported from Earth?
Yeah, which is definitely possible, right? There's a lot of, we find pieces of other planets on Earth, right? Something is smashed into it, and then eventually, something goes out of orbit, and eventually ends up here.
So it seems like unless it was some...
So it's a very difficult thing to prove.
So is that where Mars bars comes from?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We love food.
The core of Mars is essentially nougat.
I always had a feeling.
Personally, I am a big fan of the whole moons of Jupiter and Saturn there's 2 watery moons that are guaranteed ocean water.
Right.
I'm like, oh, please, can we send stuff there? And then the government's like, actually defunded. And then I go cry, and that's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the very few jobs that if they like came to our HQ door in their suits, right? So NASA comes to us in their suits.
We've run out of astrophysicists.
And they're basically like, here's the deal. You cannot look behind you. If you want to go to Mars, you walk forward with us right now and never turn around. Peace. I'm not coming back. Done. It's a done deal. It'll never happen, but it's a done fucking deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of the very few. Do you guys have like a job, like an opportunity that if it were to come up, you'd be like, yo, not related to broadcasting or anything like that. If it came up, you'd be like, yo, peace. We're done. I'm out of here. Do you guys have something like that? Like mine is if somebody was like, you're going to either Mars, Europa, or Enceladus, I'd be like, gone. Later, bitches.
Yeah, you would if you did that. You wouldn't come back anyways, most likely.
Well, Mars, yeah, but the other ones, no.
Not really. I mean, okay. My deal is that there are things that I imagine loving doing that much, but I don't have enough self-confidence in my own ability to be willing to give everything up to go for it. Like, for example, I consider myself a musician, but I don't consider myself a very good musician. So, like, if the theoretical people coming to the door was like Metallica, and they're like, we need a new bass player.
Led Zeppelin comes to the door and says, hey,
exactly.
Play for us, but you can't turn around.
Right. I would be like, I would totally do that, but I suck, so you're going to fire me, and then so I'm going to pass. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of...
Okay, I see that.
I'm not that confident in my bass playing ability to stand up against, rock giants or whatever.
The giants.
But I have, ever since I was young, wanted to, like, go on tour with a band and, do the whole thing.
Zip it. There's thoughts. Just saying. Okay. Seriously, though, what if we did take the podcast on tour?
Oh, I would love that. I've always wanted to do some sort of road trip cast thing.
There's a lot of people that listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do things.
The thought of like doing a cross country thing, broadcasting live along the way, doing fan meetups in big cities.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I have romanced about that for as long as I've been a caster,
like
really.
Some sort of summer tour.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Nerds at the beach. No, not well, Jesus. Skip the beach.
So
Sharks.
I don't know. Maybe we should have a Kickstarter for that next year.
A nerd starter. There we go.
There you go.
That would be a cool idea.
Add nerd to everything we do anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, would you be down for that? Would you travel?
Travel around.
Travel. Okay, let's be realistic.
I've never been out of the United States.
Yeah, so we'll stay in the United States. I'm saying
there goes my.
Let's be realistic. No, if we were to be like, okay, we start in New York City. We're on. Oh, could you imagine?
Hey, you know what?
Bus with a big fucking Neffy on the side of it.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be sick. Anyway,
we'd be
we start in
sponsored
New
by
York.
Go-Gurt or things that are on the move or something.
Jesus Christ.
But
we just end up playing at 15 different major cities across the U.S. over a month or whatever. But we still, it's a tour bus or something. It's not like where we sleep.
Yeah.
So we can still broadcast from the road and stuff like that and still do our shows.
That's
the important thing about doing something like this is you have to be able to maintain what we're already doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, dude, fuck.
Got
Are we just saying this? We're not saying we're doing it, okay? People of the internet, because
if any sponsors out there is interested.
Oh, but
in
if
this
anybody's
idea,
interested in that, you can hit me up. But
yeah.
Otherwise,
sellout at nerdfusion.tv.
It doesn't exist yet. Still,
that's gonna keep being a running thing.
Yeah, and they will always have their email returned to them because it doesn't exist. Yeah. So I think for me, definitely Mars would be the one where I'm just like, yo, gone, and you don't have one. Do you have one? Is there anything you can think of?
If I had talent, Broadway singer.
Broadway singer?
Yeah.
I did not know this about you.
I love Broadway. I've always loved Broadway.
Really?
I love listening to shows.
I saw that in his eyes when we sang karaoke. There was
Like,
a warmth in his heart that you could
ever
just see.
since I saw Phantom of the Opera when I was young.
Phantom was my first. Was that your first?
It was not my first,
Okay.
but it was one of like the first big ones that I was just like, wow.
I mean, like
Cats was my
on
first.
Broadway.
Cats was my first.
On Broadway in New York.
Not New York.
Oh, so
In
traveling tour.
Okay, so like in Columbus they had Broadway on tour.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
But,
my
yeah.
first. So I don't even remember what my first of that type was, but my first on New York Broadway street was Phantom of the Opera, and it was insane. Like,
Was that like $500 ticket?
I don't know, I didn't pay for it.
It's surprisingly cheap if you buy 30 minutes before. They have these places where they sell last minute tickets for like dirt cheap.
Nice.
Still, I mean, you're paying
Yeah,
money.
like $40, but
It's-
normally like it's $120.
Yeah, it's
ticket.
expensive, but it's well worth it. Like,
Yeah.
just being in that historic theater with that amount of talent on stage is just
My first
insane.
my first actual Broadway, like New York,
Yeah.
was Avenue Q. And
Oh, that's
it
a good
was
one.
So much fun.
That's a hilarious one.
I
Yeah.
have never been to Broadway.
I've
been to New York.
They have tours here, and
Well, I've been to Broadway shows. I've never been to New York Broadway Street. Yeah.
That's the thing.
I've been to New York, but not to Broadway.
We should totally do.
I mean, just think about that as your job, though. Like, what a fucking rigorous job. Then again,
Yeah.
what do we do here,
That
right?
sucks. That part sucks. But
we're
like,
doing the same part here. But
just being on that stage though, like owning that audience would be like a dream.
Yeah.
their voices are so good.
I'd have to have talent though.
You know what I will say? Broadway kind of pissed me off. Like, I don't know if you guys saw this YouTube video. It was probably like a year or two ago, where the fucking Lion King. Did you see this? Are you
Sorry.
right now? Dan is messing with his
sounded
microphone.
muffled, and I was because it went into my shirt.
Okay. So on the airplane, there's this like video of somebody that just took out their cell phone, and the entire cast of the on tour Lion King Broadway musical, just all of a sudden in the middle of a massive fucking plane, just start singing like their songs, and and the reaction of 60-70% of the comments on YouTube and the people in the airplane. Oh my God, this is like adorable. This is the greatest thing I've ever heard. They're just spreading joy and happiness. If I was on that fucking airplane,
Yep.
I would have kicked the shit out of every one of them. Fuck you. Why would you ruin my flight by just getting up and singing randomly right in my ear? Like, you could see this old man that was sitting next to one of them. He's like, I swear to God, if I had a gun right now,
Yeah.
the things I would do.
I was always sensitive to that when I was singing actively.
I like your singing, but keep it to where it belongs.
I can't remember if I've mentioned this on the podcast before or not, but I used to sing a lot of barbershop. I was in quartets.
Yeah. I've heard that.
And we would do a lot of, like, sometimes we would get paid to go and sing, like, for somebody's anniversary or something and that sort of thing. And a lot of times restaurants would pay us to come and sing. But if we weren't getting paid by the restaurant, like, invited to go, we would pretty much never sing in public for that very reason. Like, we didn't want to, like, anger people because some people do not react well to it.
I mean, I like your music, of course, but let me pay for it, number one.
Right.
And number two, it's like, I'm on an airplane. Like, this is already, I'm not stressed on the airplane, but it's already like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And you're not helping. I want to listen to whatever I'm listening to.
Yeah.
And I don't want anyone looking at me, talking to me. I'm one of those people that it's like, I put on stone face when I know the person next to me, you can tell, right?
Yeah.
They're walking, you're like, oh, this
Yep.
motherfucker better not sit next to me. This motherfucker, oh, shit, she's going to talk my face off.
Yep, they're a talker. I always cut them off. I answer as quickly and shortly as possible. And just
I put on the headphones. I've learned now that I walk onto the airplane with headphones in.
You're not really going to find somebody that has more experience with that than me being the fat guy on a plane, because nobody freaking wants to be next to the fat guy on the plane. So yeah, I have caused that sort of terror in many an airplane. That's pretty much why.
What you should do is you should,
always
like, as you're
fly
walking
first
in,
class.
you like look at the person they're like sitting down, you look at them and you smile and go, what's up? You give them a little wink, you're like, hey. I'm gonna be next to you for the next 5 hours.
But my closest experience to a Broadway thing was I was in the barbershop quartet for an indie production of The Music Man.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah,
that was fun.
just a community thing.
You
like
didn't
nothing,
get paid for that.
No.
Do you have any clips from your barbershop experience?
There's stuff on YouTube.
Okay.
But it's him
will
with
show you.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you
there's
can see
some
it.
with me with some other
Yeah.
people.
Oh, are there?
but,
I think I've just seen the ones where you do all 4.
Because I used to go to like shows and then I would sing with the headliners after the show and then get some videos of that. And
Got
whatever.
it.
But that's ages ago.
That was a previous life.
Yeah, I've been talking to Danny Baranowski a lot because he lives near here, and I've been thinking about maybe because I showed him my barbershop stuff, and he was all like, he was all into it. We sat and watched like barbershop videos for a good half an hour at his house the other day. So I'm thinking of maybe looking up a chorus nearby and like taking him out, and seeing what he thinks.
Oh, really? You just want to go to a show?
Yeah.
Just see what it's like.
Well, see if the local chapter's any good. Pretty much. Cause
Oh my God, you're gonna be like the asshole judge. You're gonna be like Simon.
No, I can't like my musical standards are way too high to be around like horrible groups. Like
would you walk out?
I would.
Are you serious?
It is like as some, like it's like
Are you-
finger.
you're
It's like
kidding.
fingernails on chalkboard. When I'm sitting listening to a group and they're all like off key and like they can't keep the rhythm and they're flat and whatever. Like it's like fingernails on chalkboard.
No way. You would walk out on that.
Cannot
like
handle
these
it.
are people that are trying to hone their skill. They just want support, and you'd be like, "Hey, go fuck yourself."
Well, if I had like gotten a ticket to go to a performance, I would force myself to sit through the performance because I'm not going to be the rude guy that walks out. If I'm voluntarily going to their practice and I see that they're terrible, I'm just going to leave again.
you don't want to like help them.
No, because I have done way, way, way too much of that. Pretty much every chorus section that I've been in, I've been the guy carrying the section, and everybody leans on you. And then if I make a single mistake, then everybody else in the section makes the same mistake.
You wouldn't be. You just help
hate
them.
that.
You'd help them. You wouldn't be in their shows. You just be like, "Here's some improvements. Number 1, don't suck.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Sing better.
stop singing. Just stop." Number 3, close down the troupe, and number 4, stop selling tickets because they're worthless. They're worth less than the paper printed.
I mean, for most barbershop groups like that, it's like just as much a social thing as it is a music thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like they're just there to hang out with their friends and sing some music and
And you're gonna judge them
well,
like Simon Cowell.
like every chapter is different, right? Some of them are they're like
I was kidding when I said you were like Simon, but you are legit.
Yeah.
fucking
there's
Simon.
an active competitive circuit still, and some chapters are the competitors, right? Like some of them are very serious and honing the skills and getting trainers and coaches and all that, and some of them are just the more casual, and all of that's valid. It's just I would rather be where it's,
You're the asshole on The Voice. Have you seen The Voice? Mm-hmm. Where they don't spin around. They're in these chairs that do 180, and they have to click a button, and when they click the button, they turn around and actually see the performer, and that's like their term of approval.
Right.
Like when they hit the button, they've approved of this singer, because they don't want to judge it based on anything but their voice. And there's always, every season, there's 1 or 2 that they push the button, they're like, oh my God, that voice came out of that ugly thing? There's always a bunch of those.
Yep.
You're the guy that would be like, I'm never turning the fuck around unless it's like perfect.
Yeah, no, there is music from my favorite artists in my playlist that I play on my cast every day.
Yeah.
Friends of ours.
Yeah.
That there's certain tracks that I've removed because the vocals are flat and I can't handle it.
Oh my.
That's awesome.
I mean, I try to mostly play instrumental
yeah,
tracks
I don't
anyway.
like playing vocals.
Yeah.
But there's a few where the vocals are off key and I can't even deal with it.
Oh, that's awkward.
And I always notice like little nitpicky things. Like I'll go to a concert and I'll be like, the guy on the left, his mic just went out, and whoever's with me is like, what? How can you? And then a roadie runs on stage and he hands him a new mic, and those little details.
Now we know, like, Bacon's big obsession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what can I say? I like music.
No, you don't. You like perfect music. There's a difference.
I just have standards, okay?
Like, would you ever go to like a high school music concert to support a local high school?
Sure. I mean, it would be painful, but I would do it.
You wouldn't be there like, oh, they're doing a great job because, you know, they're fucking 16.
Dude, I tell you what, one of the worst feelings in the world for me is listening to a show like that where, you know that the performers aren't top notch, right? And I'm already hearing like little problems, and you're feeling the song approach the big note, right? Like, you know that they're coming up to that note, that it's going to be loud and high and belting it out, and you know that it's going to be wrong.
Oh my God!
And like,
you have no
I
confidence.
feel the anxiety in me just rising. Like, oh, here comes it. Oh no, there it is. It's awful.
No.
Ow,
If
make
you
it
do
stop.
that, if you say that, it's going to be bad. You're hearing it wrong. Like, if you just go into it
sometimes.
with this super pessimistic attitude.
No, that's not true.
Am I right?
Sometimes they
Yes.
prove me wrong.
Singing ability is a little subjective, but there's a lot of objectivity to it as well. So if they're singing off key, you can hear that.
Yeah, but like, if you go in and knowing, okay, these guys are gonna suck, well then they're gonna suck. It doesn't matter what they do.
Yes, part of that is human psyche. We remember the things that support what we want to believe, and we kind of brush off of things that don't.
And I could almost hear the people at home judging me, because like all the non-musicians,
I'm judging you.
all the non-musicians are out there going, "This guy's a douche," and all the musicians are like, "Oh my gosh, brother, preach it."
Yeah.
I don't think the musicians are like that. I don't know. I'm not a musician, so how the fuck do I know? Whatever.
All this from Light Water on Mars.
Yeah.
You
Remember
know
that?
how our fucking podcasts are. This is just how we do
I
it.
know.
You have let's completely switch gears.
Yeah.
Going back, there was one story that we didn't get to at TwitchCon because it happened after our podcast there. And even if it didn't happen after our podcast there, we probably would not have talked about it live in front of people at TwitchCon. And it's a bacon story.
Are you talking about what I think you're talking
It's
about?
your story
Oh, jeez.
about
I haven't.
A lady!
I haven't.
lady friend.
I haven't completely recounted this story to anyone yet.
I heard a very short version
Yeah.
of the story. Did you hear, or were you there?
I heard a pretty lengthy version, but
Were you
not the
there?
whole-
Or
No.
No? Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. So this was the party. Was it the last day?
Yeah.
The last day party. So Deadmau5 was the headliner of the show, and
We left 6 hours after the party, by the way. That's the shit.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that flight though, like 8 in the morning or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like we met in the lobby at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And we got back to our hotel that day, though, about 3, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
between 3 and 6, that was our time to be not drunk.
I didn't even sleep.
I
that
filed complaints with the Twitch staff about.
Yeah, they
scheduling
were
things.
not. They were very sympathetic about it
Yes.
because they didn't schedule it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I didn't even sleep that night. I just
I
did it.
Mm-mm.
So anyway, so it was that final night party, and everyone who had a VIP band and was also a drinker was ready to get hammered on free drinks. I don't drink, so that's not my scene. But okay, so I'm standing in line to get in.
But that's an important detail.
Yes, yes, it is. So I'm standing in line to get in, and I am very quickly introduced to someone who is very loud and clearly already drunk behind me. And so it's this lady who is a community manager for a game company. And I'm not going to describe what she looks like or what her name is or what company she works for.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't bother asking. I don't want to identify her in any way other than to say that she was industry. And she was already clearly drinking when she arrived. But she was like, she wasn't like, passed out type. But like she was, it's clear that she will have remembered that part of the evening. But she was loud and making jokes and whatnot. And that pretty much, and she was like very drunkenly like shoving her game in everyone's face, like, here, check out our new game. This is a game. He was like, just hit me up, I'll give you credits, and that sort of stuff. So we got inside, I got away from her and whatnot. And so time passed, probably another 2 hours later. Time enough for her to go in and start drinking to get all the.
And she was VIP
all the free,
with the free liquor.
Right,
and all that.
exactly. So she got free drinks, and so I'm sitting down like in the middle of the VIP section. This is after I met Soda Poppin' for the first time.
There was a place to sit in the VIP section.
Yeah, there was couches in the middle of that room.
It was so crowded that I didn't even see them.
Mm-hmm. So I met Soda Poppin' for the first time, which was awesome, and then I got this like beautiful selfie with Lyric where we're like cuddling. It was amazing. So all of that happened, and then I went and sat down, and Danny B was sitting on the couch over there. So I sat down next to him, and I'm talking to him, and all of a sudden, here comes that girl, and she like runs up and just leaps into my lap, and she is clearly hammered, right? And she like collapses backward on top of me and then starts dancing. So she's like basically giving me a lap dance. And she's like, come on, let's dance. And and I'm laughing, whatever. And then now here's the thing.
Oh God!
You got to understand
when somebody says
clarifications,
and here's the thing.
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay,
that's a problem.
I have dealt with because I'm completely sober, right? I don't drink, and I have had a lot of drunk people in my laps at parties before, but it's never the hot girl.
I've probably been in your lap.
You probably have.
At a party.
But the thing is, I'm used to it being drunk straight men, right? That's who I'm used to having in my lap. Like friends of mine that get hammered and then come over and just whatever, right?
Love you, bro.
Exactly.
So this was different.
That's what I'm used to, right? So she's at I love you, bro stage of drunk, but I'm not used to it being a girl. So at first I didn't.
And you said she's pretty banging, right?
She was hot.
Yeah.
By my standards, she was hot. She's the kind of girl that
she was hot. I saw a picture.
She's the kind of girl that does not need to go home with the fat guy. If you know what I mean, right? She could have her pick of anybody there. So anyway, I got myself into trouble because I'm not used to having the girl in my lap that I didn't pick up on the cues, right? So when she's like so after the little mini lap dance, she looks at me all drunken and she's like, I like you. I'm like, oh, I like you too. No, I like you. You're funny. Can we go home now?
Oh,
damn.
And I didn't get it, right? Because like that's...
What?
It took me a while to pick up on that part. Because again, like I was treating her like a bro that was drunk, right? Like, I love you, bro. I love you too, bro. You're great. No, you're great. Right?
Let's go home?
No, she said, can I go home now? And I'm like,
Did you say yeah?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, please.
So I'm like, I'm thinking, okay, I might need to help her get to her hotel. For the record, I'm not the kind. I would never take a woman home that was in this condition.
You were
right?
in your mind, you were being chivalrous. You're like, oh.
Well, at that point, this is the beginning of this process. At that point, my mind was just running through scenarios, right? What's going to happen next? And one of those scenarios is I might have to be the one to be responsible to get this woman home because she is very hammered. Like, she could barely talk. She was saying things that like weren't even comprehensible. She was that drunk. And so one of those scenarios is I might have to get her home. So I tried to find out where her hotel was, and she wouldn't tell me. And I didn't figure out till later it's because she wanted me to take her back to my hotel. Right?
So you'd ask her, she'd be like,
she kept saying,
home.
She kept saying, I want to go home. Can we go home now? And then I'd be like, where's your hotel?
I don't want to tell you. I just want you to take me home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Pretty
take
much.
me home.
Yes, that's pretty much it. And so
I like how when I do that, I get like a lazy eye. I don't know.
Yeah.
she had both lids were lazy at that
Both
point.
lids were legs.
And she was like, and she started like randomly like just going completely limp, like just falling over. And I'd have to like grab her to keep her from falling on the floor and stuff. Like, I don't know if that was some sort of seduction tactic or what, but it was strange. And people at this point, she's making enough of a ruckus. People are starting to look, and notice, right? And I'm getting like sly thumbs up from certain people.
Oh!
And I'm like, no,
I don't have game. I don't have game.
Right, exactly. And then other people were giving me looks like,
Let's go.
Like the other people are giving me judgmental looks, and I'm having to go, I don't know this woman. I'm terrified right now. And so I concocted a plan. All right, how do I get rid of her? So she's industry. She's probably here with coworkers. Her coworkers are probably used to her doing this. I bet if I get up and walk around the room enough, that I'm going to pass by someone that sees this happening and goes, oh, wait a minute, And so I did. That was my plan. And it worked like a charm. So we got up, we started walking, and I'm trying to give looks to everyone that I can see that, no, I'm not actually trying to take her home in this state. I don't know if I got through to anyone or not, but it was...
How do you even say that with eyes? Like, how do you, like a deer in headlights? Or what do you do?
Like,
Ooh,
I was shaking my hand and, mouthing no. And
she's
be
not
like,
mine.
No.
Was she like hanging on to you?
Oh,
or?
yes.
Oh.
No, she was like...
So as you were walking around, she was like all up on you?
Yes.
Oh, she wasn't just like following you?
No, she really wanted to take me home. Like, I've never...
Other way, yeah.
I have literally never been hit on in my life like that, ever. Like, not even like in college, nothing. I've never been hit on like this chick, which is why I got too far into it, right? Like, I probably led her on unknowingly because I didn't even comprehend what was happening. Anyway, ran into a coworker, and he was way more sober than her, and had this little exchange with him as he like apologized to me for her, and it's like, I got your back, bro, it's fine. And so I handed her off to him, and I went and
handed her off,
and I went and sat back down. And then have this conversation with all the people around who are like, wow, Bacon, you're like, look at you. We thought we thought you were like going to take her home, but you're being the better man. And I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, I'm not going to. Anyway, so not a half an hour later, she's in my lab again.
Of course.
Oh, God.
So she ditched that guy and came back. And this time she brought another drink with her.
Oh, God.
And she started coughing, like just this little cough. And like every time she coughed, I was terrified that she was going to puke on my lap.
Yeah.
And so then I'm sitting there, and she's hitting on me even harder now, right? She's being less subtle about I want you to take me out of here, and I'm terrified, going, okay, how do I do this? Like, that was my master plan. That guy disappeared. What happened?
You say
what am
yes.
I gonna do?
There's an exit strategy. Did that thought ever enter your mind? The strategy of, okay.
I didn't want her in my hotel room. It's a drunk moment.
Sure, you two did share a hotel.
Yeah, I was sharing a room with Dan. Like, even had I been the kind of person to take a woman in that state home, I would have had to somehow deal with the fact that Dan was in the hotel room.
Yes.
I mean, he can watch.
Oh, God, no. No.
Whatever.
No, she was so drunk, though. Like, she would have just, like...
Could you imagine?
You get her back to the hotel room.
6.
Yeah.
She'll still be in the fucking bed.
She'd pass out and start puking in the toilet all night,
Yeah.
She'd wake up and the room would be checked out.
Yeah.
Housekeeping?
So I'm starting to get more and more panicky, right? Like, what the crap am I going to do? She's going to puke in my lap. She's trying to take me home. I don't know her. I'm at this party. I've never dealt with this before in my life. Coworker number 2 happens to walk by. We're sitting on that couch again, and she's still trying to give me a lap dance. Coworker number 2 comes by, and I hand her off to him. And he does very much the same thing, like kind of apologizing for her and whatever. But the thing is, so they take off. She comes back a third time. Again, she's in my lap. And this time, I got help from none other than Andrew from Approaching Nirvana, who knows her apparently from some like previous before all the drunk. Like I never bothered to ask what the connection was, but he knew her, and so he was like trying to get her to drink some water and whatever, and he leaves with her, and at that point I'm like, I'm out. So I'm freaking leaving. I'm done. I'm going to get out of here. And so I grabbed my things, said goodbye to people, and I said, I'm leaving the building before this gets any worse. So I get outside, and I'm trying to get an Uber or something to get out of there. And I run into Andrew, who doesn't have her with him.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, where did she... And he says to me, like, he comes up to me in a panic, I lost her. Where did she go? Have you seen her? She's so drunk. I'm scared for her. And I'm like, how did you lose her? Like I can't get rid of this woman, right? And he says that that he was trying to take her to the bathroom because she looked like she was going to puke. And then she started calling him rude. Why are you being so rude? Why are you being so rude? I'm not being rude. And then he turned around and she was gone. And I can't help but wonder if that was her strategy to get back to me. Is like just every guy call them rude until she leaves and then finds me again. Anyway, so I'm standing there.
Scratching.
Oh, not again. It's the DJ in me. So I'm standing there outside, trying to get a cab.
You're still scratching.
And here she comes again. I'm just gonna freaking hold.
Okay, that works.
Here she comes again. Outside. And I'm now outside the building. My cab hasn't arrived yet. And here she comes again. And this time she comes up to me and says, come on, let's go take a piss. And I'm like, okay, go take a piss. And she says, that's not what that means. And she starts repeating it. Let's go take a piss. Go on. Bathroom's right over there. Go take a piss. That's not what that means. And I'm like, holy crap, like, what am I going to do? Okay, so just then, a friend of mine by the name of Tarfu. Do you guys know Tarfu?
Yeah, of course.
Tarfu, super great guy. He's a Twitch admin. He's a broadcaster. If anyone wants to check out his stuff, he was on the LGBT panel at Twitchcon. Great panel, by the way, if you all haven't seen that. Anyway, so Tarfu comes up. I give him a big old bear hug and whisper into his ear, bro, I don't know what to do. I can't get away from this girl. And he's like, and Tarfu goes, bro, I got you. I will be your boyfriend. and I'm like, yes, hallelujah, I have an out. And that was like the biggest bro moment of my life. So Tarfu, I assume you're listening to this. I will love you forever for that. So Tarfu became my impromptu gay boyfriend. And we hopped into a limo together and left.
Peaced out.
And peaced out.
That's awesome. What a bro.
He won.
Saved by Tarfu.
TwitchCon MVP right there. It was amazing.
Saved by Tarfu.
So yeah, twitch.tv/Tarfu. Go thank him.
Yeah, I've heard the very small version of that story that skipped like Danny and Andrew and all these other things you had gone through. Basically, the version of the story I heard was just Tarfu, and then I didn't hear anything leading up to that. So that's pretty epic.
And it's funny because at a previous con, there was a scenario in which I was avoiding a woman that led me to kiss a man, and I never thought I would top that story.
Well,
but this one ended up with me having a gay boyfriend, so I think that wins.
Yeah.
So that was TwitchCon for me.
Well, that was the finale of TwitchCon.
Yeah, that was
so that's the part you'll always remember.
Right at the list. So after that was me going home, sending out, tweets about how awesome TwitchCon was, and then getting on a plane.
I like how your tweet to Tarfu was, "You have no idea how much you helped me. Listen to the podcast, and you'll find out."
Right. No,
you gotta remind him
because he called me the MVP of TwitchCon. He tweeted at me. He was like, "Bacon Donut was the real MVP of TwitchCon." I'm like, no. You're the real MVP. But I'm not going to tell the story till the podcast.
And now you've heard it.
Yeah, here it is.
That's the story.
That was an epic story.
I can't even.
That is a pretty good story.
This stuff does not happen to me. It's so like.
She has a talent of escaping. She's like this stealth ability.
Right?
Yeah.
Like she was just sober enough to be able to find her target again.
Not one, but 3 separate times.
Yeah.
In a state where she could barely walk, she somehow homes on you every time.
Yep.
Yeah. That's an epic story. And one that you will retell for the ages, I'm sure.
And yeah, and you all have the benefit of hearing this close to when it happened, because 2-3 years from now,
It'll completely be different.
It's gonna be twice as epic. Like it'll be like she'll be like, Dead Mouse will be giving me a lap dance, and she like pushes him off.
Yeah.
Right.
I call next.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's a good story to lead us into questions. We do questions every week.
Yes, and
on our podcast.
if you guys want to send us a question, podcast@nerdfusion.tv.
Podcast@nerdfusion.
Podcast.
Was that podcast@nerdfusion.tv?
No, it's
As long as the nerd is spelled with a 3, yes.
Yeah.
podcast@nerdfusion.tv.
Podcast@nerdfusion.tv. We have lots of great emails coming in every week. Keep them coming. They
Some
are
of which
content.
we read live on the show last
We did.
week. That was a lot of fun.
Last week's show, let's just briefly, before we get to the questions, talk about that. Last week's show was interesting. So we only ended up able to do like 40 minutes. And it was a little bit like directed, because they were like, oh, we have a tweet coming in. And I'm like, well, fuck your tweet. I don't care what your tweet says.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about what we're already talking about. We're in the middle of a
production
conversation.
started putting tweets up on the screen.
And then production was like, oh, well, we have a tweet we're going to put on screen. And I'm like, well, go fuck yourself. I couldn't say that. But basically, I did say that because, our podcast is very off the cuff. It's not like we, care about, we don't care about behind the scenes stuff. Like, it's just, we're just talking.
Yeah. Right?
And so, like, I think I clearly communicated, when he said, there's a tweet coming, I was like, what? We just heard in our ears there's a tweet coming. I don't even know what that means. Right? And this is like on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think that threw them for a loop. Because afterwards they were like, you weren't supposed to talk to us.
Right.
I was like,
you weren't supposed to talk to us.
Do you know what we do? Like, I'm going to talk back. Like, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a fun experience. We got to see the reactions of people in the crowd as we were delivering.
That was
which is
funny.
weird. Because I think we all at this point know when we say something, if it's going to be funny. Right? And it was kind of cool to see that immediate feedback instead of the 12-second feedback that we deal with on Twitch. It was just like we say something funny and then the crowd would just go, bonkers. It was good. We filled up the area in front of the podcast to the point where...
That area wasn't really supposed to have a crowd in front of it.
It wasn't. It was meant to be a place where you would walk by and just see activity.
Yeah.
But people were on the floor, standing against the pillars and all that stuff, to the point where the convention center security had to start moving people. Yeah. Like, they couldn't be in the way of the aisles. And so about halfway through our podcast, they were pushing people around, like trying to find space for them to go. It
was a very, very similar setup to the stage that Twitch uses on their PAX booth, but there was a smaller area to stand in. The PAX booth has more carpet there for people to stand in usually.
Really? I thought it was the other way around. I thought PAX had a lot less area. Maybe. I think so. I feel like it. I don't know. Either way, there was a lot of people. And our Nerd Fusion panel itself was awesome. We talked about that last week, though, I think, and that filled up.
I love that half the people at that panel had no idea who we were.
Yeah.
I like that, and I also like how we, on numerous like Twitch blog sites and all these other things, that was the panel of the con. Yeah. And that is awesome that we were able to give that much insight into what it is that we do.
We had some stiff competition because we were up against Spamfish's roast at the same time.
Yeah. But that's just like a funny thing. I think for us it was, we kind of got a little serious, but we kept it, ourselves.
It was light, yeah.
But I think we gave out some good information there. And I'm not trying to like stroke myself here. I honestly didn't expect people to say it was the best of the con, because it's kind of, for a lot of people, kind of a boring topic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just don't care, but all the broadcasters super care.
Right. I was on a few different panels, and a lot of them were not quite so professional. I think we were a little more professional about.
Our panel was my best panel. I had 4 panels, and that was my best panel. sure.
Although the other panel that I was on that was really good was the Twitch OG panel. A lot of like
That
nostalgia.
was a fun one, yeah.
With the
That was a lot of fun for you and for people that were around.
For
back
people
then.
that know Justin TV.
For probably
it was
people
fun.
that I don't know what people's reaction
Yeah.
were that weren't around during that era.
Yeah,
and
for
stuff
those
like
kind of
that.
people, it
was
probably
just
was
kinda,
like, eh.
boring.
I had no idea who that Viper guy was.
Yeah.
Never even heard of him before. And then he was on the roast too.
He's been around a long time.
I mean, obviously, he wouldn't be on
Yeah.
the
Would be
OG
on the
panel.
panel, right?
I was on a panel with a bunch of casters about building communities. Who's there? Co was the moderator. Co Carnage was the moderator.
They were like, you said 8 people or something?
Ellaheim, Itme JP, Tangent, Towley. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it was a rock star panel.
I think if you have more than like 4 people, it starts getting people get too diluted in the panel. There's not enough people to talk.
Ours
Not
worked
enough
out
time to
pretty well.
talk.
Yeah,
I think our number of 4 was really good.
it was good. We could do 5.
I mean, overall, man, like the panels were just fantastic at TwitchCon.
Yeah.
I really
There was just
think.
too many of them.
I think a big part of the reason that TwitchCon was successful is because, wow, that was about to sound really asshole-ish. We showed up. No, no, but like the big partners and the small partners, like from the entire spectrum, were very well represented there. And I think that's what made TwitchCon so successful.
I love that they made an effort to be so diverse in the content too. Like there was one for creative streamers, there was one for women in gaming, there was the LGBT panel. You know, a lot of different interests represented, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, anyway, I love.
So
TwitchCon.
let's do these emails that I said we were gonna do like 10 minutes ago. Anyway, we're going a little bit long today to make up for last week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Last week was short.
So last week was very short. So we want to give you the content you deserve. You know, all that kind of good stuff. I'm gonna check my battery. We're good. Okay, so we've got 4 interesting emails here. Although one of them I kind of already brought up from Chris, Water on Mars. We already kind of talked about that. But Chris, thanks for the email.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for the fucking email. All right, so there's a few interesting emails here. Of course, some of them have some very good titles. But first, let's go into this one from Millsy. Subject: the Dr. Pepper answers you didn't know you were asking.
Oh.
So it was at the live podcast that we talked about Dr. Pepper, I believe. Yeah, because we were talking Coke versus Pepsi, and then we somehow got to talking about like Dr. Pepper. And because Dr. Pepper's not owned by...
Theorizing about who owns
who
them
owns
and
Dr. Pepper and all this. We had a lot of people email in with the answer.
I bet.
Yep.
Like a lot of emails about that. But this one also had a question with it, so this is the one that gets the credit.
Okay.
While the Coca-Cola, Pepsi brands are worldwide, they're distributed through regional vendors. Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, and Snapple are third-party companies, and they have agreements with different vendors for distribution. So sometimes you see it with Coke, sometimes with Pepsi. Depends on which distributor. I used to manage a couple of different convenience stores in Raleigh, shout-outs to Waffle, for a living, and it blew my mind when I moved stores and it was suddenly a Pepsi product instead of a Coke product. Okay.
There you go.
So this guy's got street cred.
Yeah.
He's been there and he knows the deal. So there's all of our answers about
Man on the street.
Dr. Pepper. Exactly. Yeah. I prefer Dr. Pepper over Mr. Pip. You know, although I will, as far as diet drinks are concerned, Dr. Pepper's and root beer are my favorite because they're so strong that you don't taste the crap that gives you cancer.
Yep.
I like that Mountain Dew a lot.
Really? But you can like taste the aspartame like clearly.
Not anymore, I can't.
Oh. I guess if you drink it enough.
I am totally immune. Like,
Yeah, I hear that
numb
from a
to
lot of
that.
people that like if you drink the sugar-free stuff for a long time, you don't taste it anymore, and the regular stuff starts tasting bad.
No, I vividly remember that taste, and I literally don't taste it anymore.
The aspartame?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It is disgusting, but I drink so much of it now because I'm diabetic, so I always drink the diet stuff, and I don't taste it anymore.
My question is, surprise, asking for dating advice. Oh,
We never
We
get that.
are experts.
clearly Bacon is now
Yeah.
an expert.
Yeah.
This is actually kind of more directed towards you.
Okay.
All right. I don't think anyone my age has written in, though. Okay, we're
Well,
not in high
okay.
school anymore.
Hallelujah.
A lot of people
All right.
didn't include their age, so it's hard to say. But.
I'm almost 33, and I have no idea how to meet women. I've tried the whole Tinder, Bumble. What the fuck is Bumble?
Never heard of Bumble.
It's like Tinder for bees.
Okay. I would have gone to the bee joke if nobody else had, so I'm glad somebody did it. The whole Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid thing. And in 2 years, I've gotten exactly one super awkward date that did not lead anywhere. Part of the problem may be that I work full time, go to school at night, so I don't really have time to go out to bars or whatever. If you guys have any advice for a slightly older gentleman, it would be much appreciated.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Well, he sounds like he doesn't have time in his life to meet women if he's doing all this stuff. Like,
can you meet him at school? Like, are there other women in your classes that are of age?
If he meets a person, like, he's not gonna have time to spend with them anyways if he's going to school and work all the time. Like, where's he gonna fit in?
That's kind of a shitty situation.
Where will he fit in a relationship?
I mean, you're not going to be at school forever.
Yeah,
I guess.
I would just say wait.
What do you
The
think?
fundamental question is looking for ideas of how to meet people.
I guess so, yeah.
Not, can you analyze my schedule and tell me if I have time for a woman?
I mean, basically, he's already said that he doesn't have time.
Yeah.
But he has time for maybe more of like a casual dating.
sex.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of...
Well, you just jump right to
That's
casual
what a man
sex.
wants is sex. If
Dating.
he's not
What a man wants, what a man needs.
Dating. He wants to date somebody.
I feel like the classic, like, just going to a random bar and trying to meet people is probably one of the worst possible ways.
doesn't really work.
The older you get, the less that works.
Yeah, and like the people that you're going to meet there are not the kind of people that you're
Yeah.
going to want to see again.
Like, do you want your girlfriend
In
to
the
be
daylight.
a barfly, like at 33?
That's true.
Well, you know what? Take my whole party story as an example. Let's say I was a sleazeball and had taken her home. Can you imagine the regret that she would have in the morning? Like, right? Like, so that's just a terrible way to meet people, is getting drunk at bars or whatever.
I don't know. For me, I would just work and school are the two obvious ones because that's where you're spending most of your time. It's hard to get to know somebody there though, and then like keep it. I don't know. It's kind of weird, especially at work. But like at school, you're like, if you're going to night classes, surely somebody named Shirley might be there.
Shirley.
I mean,
look for someone named Shirley.
Whatever your interests are, there's likely groups related to that activity that meet
That's a good
somewhere.
one. Yeah.
And a lot of people just never seek that sort of stuff out. But like, for example, I know a guy who is early 30s, friend of mine. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's known within the Twitch community. Early 30s. He recently started dating, and he's into hiking. So he found a local group that just hikes together every week, and met a girl there, and they're dating. Right. So
I mean, if you have time to pull something like that off.
So like if you like hiking, you're probably just going hiking when you feel like hiking, and you might not be thinking of, oh, there's other people that like hiking. Maybe there's a group that does it together.
Astronomy club if you're into really nerdy chicks.
Yeah.
That's always good. Things like that, there's interests.
If you're into the nerdy thing, man, like every local comic book store and that sort of stuff, that they have activities, on their schedule that you can go to and meet other people. So whatever your interests are, there's probably, maybe you're real into movies. There's probably a group that gets together and critiques movies or whatever.
My God, this leads right into our next question.
Nice.
Like,
isn't that beautiful?
So well.
Thank you, Millsy, for the question.
Yeah, Millsy, thanks for the question. P.S. Why does everyone hate on Waffle? I mean, I only watch Bacon and Sev, but I've enjoyed the collabs he's done with Bacon. It's a joke.
It's mostly a joke.
Have we not made that clear?
I mean, we just hate on him because we hate the guy, and
now the thing is, it feels as though Millsy doesn't understand sarcasm. So, perhaps for somebody who doesn't understand,
I feel like the real source of this is Waffle does a lot of collabs with Lyric. Lyric loves insulting him, and that has kind of become his like getting getting crapped on by Lyric has kind of become his persona.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where it all
That's
started.
one of it. That's part of it for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, no one hates Waffle. It's just
in a group setting, like someone's gonna be like the butt of most jokes, and he's like the butt of our jokes for most everything.
Yeah. I think we all take a good joke though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this next question is from Marijuana. No, I'm kidding.
Mary Jane.
Mirana, I think is how you say it. Mirana. Subject: antisocial while abroad. Not a woman.
While
but
abroad? Okay.
Abroad.
I thought you meant like while a chick. Yeah.
abroad.
He's only antisocial when he's dressed.
I think this is actually a girl. Mirana, I think, is a girl. Hello, Nerd Fusion. I'm Mirana, and I am a junior in college. Congrats. Junior year is like the shittiest year ever. At
Yeah.
least for me it was. There's so much work.
You gotta get in serious mode to finish.
I have never been the most social person, which had never been a big problem until this semester. I am studying in Rome for the fall semester.
Ooh, Roma.
Shit, that is awesome.
Nice.
Study abroad is really cool.
I like
And the school that I'm attending is an international school. Okay, so you got a bunch of Americans there. Everyone that I have contact, I'll add the word with. Everyone that I have contact with are mostly American students who are just here to party.
Oh God.
Okay.
I find that I am pulled out
College
almost
students
every weekend
partying?
to play the part of mom. Everyone gets wasted, and I'm just left trying to navigate ancient Rome with a gaggle of drunk college girls. Gaggle. That's awesome. I have tried to go out of my comfort zone, but I just don't find joy in getting drunk. Nor do I like to haul people who I don't particularly like back home and make sure they don't get hurt. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
They will
Been there.
They will ask for my opinion on where we are going. Oh, wait, what? I skipped a line. Oh, no, we're good. No, wait, I don't know. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I just got like distracted by my own...
words.
I got distracted by my own thoughts and I skipped a whole line.
Words are hard.
I am always the odd one out of the group, and I am often left behind or ignored when we get to whatever bar we're going to that night. They will ask for my opinion on where we go and then just dismiss my answer before I'm even able to give it. Oh, God, you're with a bunch of bitches.
They're using you.
Horrible bitches. My roommates are not the kind of people who I like to be around, and I feel like if this keeps going on, I'm going to waste the time and effort that I put into getting to this point. I mean, that's fucking true.
Like,
It's hard to leave the apartment without one of them tagging along. Kick her in the cunt. It does not help that...
Wow. Okay, let's put that in the advice.
It does not help that Rome is not the safest place for a young American to be roaming around at night. I wouldn't know, but I would assume in any big city that's true. Should I just deal with the added stress of forced social situations? No! I feel like I would not go out otherwise, but I don't enjoy when I go out. What should I do? Yo, fuck them.
Yeah.
You don't need to be around them. And just like we've talked about a few seconds ago, there are other people in Rome with your interests. I guarantee it.
These girls are using you because you're their DD/mom to take care of them when they get drunk.
Yeah.
There's
Fuck
no reason
them.
for you to be there.
I'm angry at these girls
They're
right
not
now.
your friends. They're just using you.
I'm fucking angry.
based on what she said, I am completely failing to see any reason why she feels an obligation to care for them or do anything for them.
I guess the roommate situation, right? They're roommates.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, in a roommate situation, I mean, I don't know if we've all been in a roommate situation, but I've been in, like, at college, assigned roommate, right? And it's like, okay, you feel like a roommate, you're almost a little bit responsible for them because they are your roommate. In time, though, you realize, bullshit, fuck it. They'll do their thing, you do your thing, whatever. And let's be real.
I mean,
you should not be, if you're not enjoying yourself, you're in fucking Rome.
Yeah.
You should 100% be enjoying yourself the entire time you're there. And if you're not, change your circumstance because that's fucked up.
To me, it sounds like these are people who are not long-term friends, right? Like these aren't the people that 20 years from now she's going to be sitting around having a glass of wine and reminiscing about their time in Rome.
I wouldn't even consider these friends at all. They're not even treating her.
Given that, like, think of it that way. 20 years from now, when you're reminiscing about Rome, you know, what memories do you want to have to think back on? And is your friendship with them right now worth what you're giving up for that?
Yeah, make that shit happen.
I would say
Seriously,
no.
there are so many. I mean, you're in a fucking amazing city that I've never been to, so I can't call it amazing, but I'm sure it's amazing.
I mean,
It's Rome.
I would say that whatever foot you put down, make sure they're sober when you do that. Like if they're about to go out and you're like, okay, girls, I am not your mom tonight. I'm not going to take care of you. You're like,
or just don't go and find.
And so make sure that happens when everyone is sober, so that so that they can't come to you later and be like, you abandoned me or whatever. Like,
I think, you take the route that we answered in the last email. There are online you can find, I think meetup.com, or there's like a bunch of that. Well, I hope that's not like a hookup site. I just said.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, but there are sites where you can just find local clubs, local organizations. I don't fucking care if they're Italian. They will speak English a little bit at least.
Part of her problem is that she's afraid of people tagging along. We're the one she tries to leave, so I say make up a boyfriend. Be like, I've got a hot date and you're not coming.
That's a good one. Yeah, sure. Do it.
And then afterwards be like, oh, he was a jerk. I'm not seeing him again. So you don't have to
There's people I don't know. There's always going to be people around you with your interests. You just have to make the effort to find them.
Yeah.
And I think once you make that effort, you will be so much happier enjoying your semester in Rome, because that is something to be enjoyed. Like you don't just fly over there to be upset.
Yeah.
Right? Go have fun, find people with like-minded interests, and fuck these whores that you're obviously with. Fuck them, right? They just fuck them. I hate them. There you go. P.S. As I'm writing this email, half of my roommates came home from dinner smashed. They came to see what I was doing. Oops. Oh God, did they read this?
Uh-oh.
If you're Mirana's roommates, go fuck yourself. Okay. Anyway. Oh, it's Monday and they are hammered. Yeah. So anyway, obviously these aren't people that you really jive with. And so don't fucking jive with them, really. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
You have no obligation to that.
Don't jive. Don't play the game. Okay, I got really passionate about that one.
Yeah.
Saying.
You hate these girls right now.
I do. Fuck that. Like forcing people. Okay, whatever. I'm done. I'm just done.
Just walk away, Sev.
I'm walking away. This is from Z. Subject, I love Sev when he sexually poops. So clearly
I see why this question was chosen.
Question was to be chosen.
I thought we were going to get through this episode without talking about poop.
We
almost did. We almost
did. So close.
Here's the thing. Oh, there was a PS. If this email made it in the podcast, I am proud to believe that my formula for the perfect email subject worked. So we can analyze this subject again. I love Sev, ding. Okay, there's 1 point.
Yeah.
When he sexually, ding, there's 2 points. Poops, ding, there's 3 points, and it ended with a heart. 4 points. That's pretty good.
It's hard to top.
Yep.
That's pretty good. You got it pretty well done there, sir.
Now
I'm gonna change my criteria next week.
Now
and you're
every
not gonna know
email
what it
is gonna be like that now.
No, next week there's a secret word, and if you guess the word in the subject,
oh God.
Dude, we're doing it. Boom. Next week there is a secret word, and if that word, I've got it. And if that word is in the subject, I no matter what will read your email out live on the podcast.
Wow.
And it's not a very difficult word.
So I got tired of my microphone scraping on my shirt, so now I'm holding it, and I'm finding that I'm like subconsciously.
You're being quieter.
I'm slipping into ASMR mode.
Yeah, well, because yours was far away from you, and so the closer you get, the louder it gets in your ears, and so you more have to overcompensate. Okay, this is from Z. I'm Z.
Hi, Z.
Yeah, let's go with that. I love the podcast. By the way, his name doesn't actually have anything to do with Z in it. I saw his name, but I'm just, okay, why do I tell you that?
Wow, way to out it, brother.
I know. I love the podcast. I'm a regular lurker that occasionally speaks up in Sev's stream. Maybe you recognize me from the email username. I did. And also sometimes watch Dan, Horror Month Hype, Bacon, and Pause 2. Sorry, Waffle. Again,
well,
the jokes.
You have good taste.
Now that I'm done making almost everybody feel included, I wanted to ask you guys something that isn't actually dating advice.
Ooh.
Hey! Nice. There we go.
All right.
42.
I often get super distracted when I'm supposed to be doing extremely important things. Like, for instance, as I'm writing this email, I'm supposed to be doing coursework for 2 classes and studying for a major exam I have to take this coming weekend. That sucks that you have to take an exam on the weekend. But instead I'm writing this email, waiting to see if Sev's going to stream and scrolling through Tumblr. Triggered. I just feel like even though I know that these things are super important, they just don't motivate me enough to actually get them done. I was wondering how you guys get things like this done without half-assing them. We have all been there.
Yeah.
There is a certain time.
Everything he just said was very normal human behavior.
There is a time in everybody's life, and for me it's very often, where there is this list of things that is so big that your brain, instead of saying, okay, we're going to tackle this, is like, fuck everything, I'm watching Netflix, or, whatever, right? You're not doing what you should be doing. Now, this is something I've had to tackle a lot because I'm just ultra busy and I keep myself busy. And so for me, and I think everybody has a different solution to this, so we can all talk about it. But for me, the solution is to break it down into, okay, these are things I don't actually have to do. And these are things that I'm actually going to let myself forget about for a little while, just so I can tackle this one thing. And after I tackle that one thing, I'm gonna watch a movie. And so for me, it's better to get one thing done and watch a movie instead of watching 2 movies. And so that's how my brain works. I don't know about you guys. Everyone gets in these situations, right? So what do you do?
I mean, I do as much as I can to make sure that the things that I'm spending time on are things that I care enough about to be motivated at, right? But I think the question really could be resummed as, how do you motivate yourself to do the important things that you don't care about?
Yeah.
Right?
Do you motivate yourself to do the important things you don't care about? I mean, I guess that's step one. You have to do it.
I really struggle with it, man. I do.
Yeah.
This is a big weakness of mine.
Yeah.
I have an unpaid parking ticket, for example.
Are you fucking serious?
Not ticket. Not parking ticket. Speeding ticket.
You have an unpaid speeding ticket?
Unpaid speeding
How
ticket.
long has it been unpaid for?
I have no idea.
Oh my God.
I'm afraid to look, and that is not something you should ignore. It's very important.
No, it's really not something you should ignore.
That can end up with like criminal record if you don't take care of that stuff. I could miss a court date. And
he's sitting here smiling as he says it. And it takes literally 5 minutes of logging into a website.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just one example of many that I seriously I don't really
you struggle with.
I don't really have a good answer for you, but I struggle with that. That's one of the reasons why for me it's so important to have a career that I'm passionate about. And when I say passionate, like in this context, I mean my career has to be something that I'm so passionate about that my obsession for it won't allow me to not do it. Because I was a web developer before and I liked it, but I didn't have that sort of drive. Sure. And so I was not a great employee. I wasn't great at my job, and it was because I just didn't care enough about it. And streaming is not like that for me. Streaming is like an addiction. It's like a craving. Like I have to do it, and that overcompensates for that problem when it comes to that. But I definitely have a tendency to let other important life stuff fall behind, like paying tickets and other things like that.
What about for you?
Procrastination's always been one of my biggest weaknesses. Like I always procrastinate a lot. I haven't really figured out a way to not do it other than to just force myself to do something. Like I never ever do something if I ahead of time. Like I always wait until like I find in the date like I can get it done by this time. Like I can do whatever, but I gotta start it by this time where I'm never gonna get done. So just like setting a deadline in my head of like, okay, this is the red moment, like you gotta get done. Like in high school, every assignment I ever had, I always did the last night of the last day at the last moment of the day,
Speaking my language.
Yep. But I always got straight A's because I would somehow work well under pressure and like just do it really fast. But yeah, it's just a problem you just have to learn to deal with.
So for me, my way around it is that I'm in a situation where my life doesn't allow me to ever stop. Yeah. And for me, for me, it is momentum. If you get something rolling, and you guys probably have this experience as well, just like when you get something going, when you do something and you do a project or something, you do it really well, you're like, oh, I can tackle something else right now.
I call that the zone.
Yeah,
Get in the zone.
Right.
AutoZone.
And so I just run on this. Not sponsored,
Not sponsored.
yet.
We need to get a sponsor so we can stop saying that.
I mean, if we were to say that, what are we going to do? How the hell was I supposed to know that he was going to say AutoZone today?
Well, I'm just saying it'd be nice to balance it out by actually saying
Actually
we're not sponsored by AutoZone, but we are sponsored.
There we go.
Yeah.
By Jimmy's Taco Truck. You know.
Oh god, that sounds like so delicious right now.
That'd be
Anyway,
great. Just like sitting outside.
Big giant circles making tacos, maybe not.
Good point.
Yeah, so for me, it's just I have been, I guess, for a few years now, essentially on this momentum train where I just work. And there are some days where I feel myself like, oh, fuck, we're falling off the train right now.
Yeah.
And then I'll like, watch a movie or something. And then it's like, at some point I realize, oh shit, other people depend on me to do this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh fuck, done. We're back on the train, right?
I find that the more I have to do, the less I actually get done.
That's a very common. Yeah, that's what he's talking about, basically. Yeah.
I mean, like, if I were to just do a steady trickle of tasks, I would get a certain amount done, even if I wouldn't get all of it done. Mm-hmm. But if I have a lot on my plate, I will do like literally nothing. I'll just stop and like not even do the easy stuff. Just freaking not do anything.
Mm-hmm. So there you go, Z.
Basically, I'm saying I'm the worst.
There's our experiences with Z. It's a very difficult topic, and you're in high school, or maybe college, and so you're studying for classes and exams, and you might not care about them, and that's the hardest. Is when you don't care about something, getting motivated to do something you don't care about. That's very difficult. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I say use a reward system. If you get something done, then you can watch a movie, and if you get something else done, then you can do this. Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, rewards work. For some people, they do. For some people, they don't. I think this is a very personal thing with what works for you. Well, so we can't tell you what's going to work for you, but I can tell you what works for me, and he can tell you what works for him, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
The problem is if you set rewards for yourself and just give them to yourself anyways.
I mean, that takes for me, it does take self-control, right? Yeah. So there is that level of like, okay, I actually won't do this until I finish. P.S. Thanks for the great, my family thinks I'm completely insane laughs. Our families think we're insane anyway, so we're good.
You're playing video games for a living? What?
Right. Also, I didn't grammar check this Huey. Huey Lewis in the news. Huey.
No, it's
Hui.
Hui.
Why?
It's a meme.
Okay. Where'd this start?
I don't know.
All right.
I've not bothered to look it up.
I didn't grammar check this Huey in the Lewis in the Lewis in the news. I can't even talk right now.
Like this little piggy went wee all the way home.
That's wee.
Yeah.
Not wee. Okay, whatever. I hope Horror Month is going well.
I'm Googling it right now.
Okay, yeah. What if it started on Twitch? Mm-hmm. I feel like that's something that would start in the League community. League. Be like...
A lot of memes come from there.
Yeah. I hope Horror Month is going well. Congratulations to Andrea and Paz on the baby. C:. Oh, it's a smiley face to the wrong side. The scrolling through Tumblr. Oh, what you referred to in the actual email. The scrolling through Tumblr was an attempt to find you guys a funny horoscope thing to do. Again. But everything was either related to a band that isn't sponsoring you or boring. So I gave up. I think you meant brand.
Here we go. I have the answer.
Okay, what's the answer?
Hui. Is an onomatopoeic expression of hearty laughter in Portuguese, equivalent to ha 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 in English, due to its frequent use by Brazilians in MMOs such as Ragnarok Online and League of Legends.
There you go, League.
And
nailed it.
There is a particular like forum thread related to League that kind of sprung the meme apparently.
Yeah. Never mind, I lied. I found one. So he basically was looking for horoscope stuff. Never mind, I found one. And then in the process of finding this, I remembered that Tumblr has NSFW posts that are not marked as NSFW.
Shocker.
I mean, yeah. Have fun with this while I go boil my eyes. I mean, depending on who you are, Maybe that's hot. It's Tumblr. I mean, welcome to Triggered Tumblr. So, as we round out this podcast, I have a bit of a surprise.
Uh-oh. I don't like seven surprises.
Oh no.
That I found. I was in the store the other day.
Oh God.
He's leaving the room.
And I am actually leaving the room, going into my studio.
He's
that wireless
getting
mic,
something.
I was in the store the other day and I was remembering our first ever podcast. Do you guys remember what we did on our first podcast?
Cosmo?
We did the Cosmo quiz on our first podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I don't happen to have Cosmo here.
He's holding a magazine.
I have something far more ridiculous than Cosmo. I was in the supermarket. I was looking at all their magazines and I was like, who the fuck buys magazines anymore?
I worked in a bookstore, I can tell you, hardly anyone.
Okay. But they have such a plethora of magazines. And one of them...
hanging on for dear life.
One of them, when I saw it, I said, there's no fucking way people are making money off a magazine for that. This magazine is called Quiz Fest.
Wow.
And it is a teenage quiz book.
Oh, Lord.
Who do we have on this cover?
I just revealed it to these guys.
Okay.
I don't know who any of these people are. They're all basically like teen idols.
Yeah, I don't recognize anyone.
There's 22 free posters in here.
That's T Swift.
Oh, that's Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. Taylor's advice: Why are you a blast at sleepovers? Apparently, that's a quiz. So I figured this week we could start some of these quizzes, and we might pepper some of these in.
Yeah.
Selena Gomez is on here.
How the fuck do you know these people?
I have girls.
Oh yeah, that's true. You have daughters.
I have children.
Okay, so, oh my God, everything about this is revolting. Yep. I just thought I would mention that. Okay, so there's one in here for boys.
There's a lot of pink hearts.
There's one in here that you're supposed to...
I saw a Snapchat icon.
Yeah, don't even... There's one in here, basically, you're supposed to give a guy to see if he's into you. What's your crush really like? All right, so we're going to find out who we are as men.
Okay.
Or as teenage boys in this case.
Boys.
All right, what is your favorite snack? Either cake, an ice pop, Smarties candies, or chocolate-covered strawberries.
I gotta go with cake.
And our personality will be
This is your personality being judged based on this. I'm going to write down everybody's response on here, and we're going to go through this. All right, so cake, ice pop, Smarties, or chocolate-covered strawberries.
I'm going to have to go with the strawberries.
You go with strawberries.
Yep. It's my favorite fruit.
I'd either go ice pop. So you said cake, right? So Dan says cake. Bacon says chocolate-covered strawberries. For a snack, I'd probably choose the chocolate-covered strawberries as well. Okay. Which one of these cartoon characters is most like you? This is pretty easy. SpongeBob. Finn.
I don't know what that is.
Never heard
Have you seen this guy? He looks like this. He's got like a white...
Oh, that's from that Super Adventure Times or something.
Oh, okay. So
Never seen
Finn.
I have no idea.
Phineas.
Oh,
please tell me you've seen Phineas and Ferb.
Never seen it.
never seen Phineas.
Really?
No.
It's brilliant.
Or
Really
Mickey.
love Phineas and Ferb.
So SpongeBob or Mickey?
Neither, but I'll go with Mickey.
Man, you guys are missing out.
What would you choose?
Phineas.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
Why Phineas? Tell me about him. Like,
Because
what
there's
about
104 days of summer vacation and school comes along just to end it. So the annual problem of our generation is finding a good way to spend it. Like maybe building a rocket or fighting a mummy or...
Are you literally reciting something right now?
Or climbing up the Eiffel Tower.
Wait, are you reciting something?
Yes, it's the theme song. Written by Bowling for Soup.
You are fucking ridiculous.
I have played a cover of this theme song on my live stream.
You are ridiculous. I'm just throwing that out there. You're fucking insane. You are fucking insane.
You would, I mean...
I'm choosing SpongeBob.
It's like, if you were the type to sit down and watch a cartoon, that would be one I would recommend.
Really? Is he like he looks like a nerd.
It's a nerd. It's science.
Okay.
Like they
Maybe
build,
I would like him.
They
more
build ridiculous contraptions and stuff, and
maybe I'll take a wager on that then if it's sciencey. Sure. Go with that.
They're boy geniuses, Phineas and Ferb, and they're also like, anyway.
All right, which sport do you
they
like
have
the
a pet
most?
platypus who is also a super spy.
Which sport do you like the most?
Oh, jeez.
Football, like American football.
Gridiron.
Surfing, martial arts, or baseball? Definitely martial arts for me since I did it for 14 years.
Surfing's a sport?
Yeah, oh God. Surfing competitions are insane.
No,
Okay,
that's
I'll
a
go
big deal.
baseball.
You'll go baseball, and you're going to go...
I did a lot of martial arts too.
Or did you? Yeah. There we go then.
I was heavy into martial arts until an injury pulled me out of it.
Who is your celebrity crush? God, I don't know any of these people.
Your mom.
Ariana Grande.
No idea.
Did I get that right? Is it close or do you
Close
know?
enough.
It looks like she has cat ears or something. I don't know. Jennifer Lawrence. I've heard the name.
Did you say that with
Sounds
a question?
familiar.
You don't.
I know her name.
Sounds familiar.
Jennifer Lawrence. That's
J-Lo? J-Lo? No.
I
know.
Hunger Games.
Okay.
Oh, that girl. I know
Jennifer
her.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Emma Watson? I know who that is.
I know who that is.
Or Taylor Swift.
Can I see pictures?
I'm going to go with, I'll go with Emma. Number 4. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go T-Swift.
You're basically going with faces.
T-Swift.
All right, so Dan picks off of faces. What are you going with, Bacon?
No, she can sing. I like singers.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to look up.
Ariana Grande?
Yeah, she's 22. I'm gonna go with Jennifer Lawrence because
You're looking up ages on your phone right now.
Yeah.
well, I see that's the problem with like if you say you like Emma Watson, everyone's like, pfft.
How old is Emma Watson?
Well, she's of age now, but like
yeah, okay.
she's been a celebrity since she was underage, and so there's always those sideways glances like, oh, I see how you are.
Which is your favorite band?
Okay.
Fall Out Boy. Hey, Fall Out Boy songs nowadays aren't that bad.
You just like Fallout.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Mumford and Sons.
Oh, dear God.
Why is that on your... The Beatles or Maroon 5? So Fall Out Boy, Mumford, The Beatles, Maroon 5.
How is that even a competition?
That's a hard one for me.
I'm not going to be that guy who says it. I'm going to be that guy who says it. I don't necessarily enjoy much of The Beatles. And I figure that most people here are going to be like, oh, definitely The Beatles.
When they released
But
that
just
one
not-
album with
it's
all
just
their
not for me.
songs, like
Yeah.
our store played it like nonstop for months,
you're
and I
sick of
ended
it.
up hating it. So
And this list for me, it's either Maroon 5 or Fall Out Boy. Maroon 5 was the first band I saw in concert.
This is a hard one for me because I have admitted before on this podcast that I have like a guilty pleasure of mine is Adam Levine. Like I really
Maroon 5 all
really
the way.
love his vocals.
You're
I
done,
really
then. You're
do.
on here.
Well, I don't know though, but
I'm putting you down for that.
Mumford and Sons is the only band in that list. Well, no, I know a Beatles song too, but like Mumford and Sons, there's a song of theirs that I was just playing on my guitar like this morning.
I'll put you down for Maroon 5.
All right, fine.
All right, what are you going to go
I'll go
with
Maroon
here?
5.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I'm definitely going to go, well, I don't know. Like right now, at this very moment, I listen to more of Fall Out Boy than any of the others.
Yeah.
I don't listen to any of them.
Beatles would have been my second.
Okay.
Before all the questions start rolling in, it's I Will Wait. I really love I Will Wait.
It's a good song.
By Mumford and Sons.
What is your dream career? Now, obviously you get 4 choices here.
Okay.
So out of the 4,
Twitch on there anyway.
pro athlete,
That's sports ball.
a chef,
Okay.
Done.
bad.
Put my name there.
a doctor, or a musician. Chef versus
Ooh.
musician.
Darn it!
Damn.
Correct.
For me, it would be chef.
I would go
Musician
chef
or chef?
Okay.
I
So you gotta go musician or chef.
Darn it!
You have to pick one.
Ah!
Actually,
it hurts.
this determines things about you. Actually, this very question will
hurts.
determine your answer. Because this is the last question of this. What is your crush really like?
See, Dan has eaten my food and heard my music.
Has he eaten your music?
I haven't asked. Okay, well, but since both of you went chef, I'll go musician, just to be.
That speaks volumes about you.
I know.
Apparently.
I don't know what it says, but it says something.
All right, so here we go. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Nope.
All right. Dan and Bacon are the same person. Wow. Apparently.
Shocker.
Like, how does the scoring work?
So basically, there was A through D for each of these. And you guys picked more D's than anything.
I do like the D.
Yeah, you guys definitely picked a lot of D's. Well, Dan picked 4 D's.
Wow.
He's a 4D kind of guy.
I'm a 4D.
And he only had 1 A.
Is that like all at the same time?
And 1 B. So you guys
like
are, drum roll. He's romantic.
Oh.
You're in luck. They probably all say you're in luck.
Does that say
You're in luck because
you're in luck?
You're in luck.
Okay.
Because the boy you're crushing is literally the sweetest. Oh my God. He has a huge heart and he's not afraid to show it off with the most romantic gestures.
How many of those answers did Dan and I answer the same way?
Not many. 2. 1.
That doesn't make sense.
But you
Don't understand the score.
Yeah.
But you had 4, and then Bacon had the other 2, and then you shared Maroon 5. Okay, so
there's enough of Adam for both of us.
I got he's smart. He's the type of boy who actually likes paying attention in school. Go fuck yourself, Quiz Fest. He has big dreams and more than enough drive to achieve them. Talk about the perfect catch.
Nailed it.
It ended up pretty well there.
I would say that was pretty accurate.
That was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
My God, this quiz book. But it's fucking clear. Like, if you go through this, fucking Phineas, what is it? Phineas? Smart, obviously. Emma Watson is known as being the smart girl. A doctor, smart. Like,
You didn't pick doctor.
I didn't. I picked chef. But I'm saying it's basically most is, okay, whatever. Now, the ones we didn't pick, he's chill. Bacon did one of these. Dan had one of these, and I had one of these. Chill. We bet the thing you like most about this cutie is how he's low drama.
Does that pair well with Netflix?
No. Oh my God. He's a go-with-the-flow kind of boy who is really great at one-on-one conversations. So that's not us. And another thing we're not is popular. Confidence is this kid's middle name. He does his own thing and everyone can't help but follow. With such an outgoing personality, he's sure to be an amazing boyfriend. Apparently, there's nothing in here that would tell you your boyfriend's a piece of shit.
Yeah. It's
isn't for your boyfriend.
It's for your crush.
This is for who you're trying
How
to...
can a boy not be chill, smart, and romantic at the same time?
Hey.
You know? I don't see how those are conflicting things.
That's not a fucking option.
I mean,
okay?
I don't know.
All right, and the final thing we'll do here as we leave, this is all for girls. So clearly. I mean, you can look at this thing. What gives you goosebumps? Are you too stressed? I tend to bottle up my emotions instead of talking them out with my boyfriend. Okay, anyway. These are the kinds of questions, right? These are quizzes where when you ask the question, it's obvious what the result is going to be. However, there's horoscopes. And because horoscopes are obviously rooted in science.
Because it's horror month.
Yes.
Yeah. So, back to school horoscope. Oh, fucking hell.
It's going to be a 2-hour podcast.
What is your sign?
Leo.
And your?
Gemini.
All right, Leo's first.
Can I read it?
Here we go. You want to read it out? Yes, there you are.
All right, here we go. Love. It's your determination that will get a new crush to notice you. He thinks your hard-working ways are impressive. Friends. Your buds love you for always being the life of the party.
Oh, you're the life, Bacon, especially when you got that lady on your shoulder.
Yep.
She wasn't on my shoulder. So, as your birthday approaches, they'll put together an awesome celebration just to show how much they appreciate you.
No, we didn't do that.
School. No one puts more pressure on you to be the best than you. That's why you're sure to start the school year with more success than ever. Hello, impressed teachers.
Well, that describes you perfectly.
If your crush is a Leo guy, he's an old-fashioned cutie. He's the type to hold your hand while watching a movie.
Well, is that true?
That is true.
All right, there you go.
I like to Netflix and chill.
You are a Gemini. Apparently Cameron is also a Gemini.
Cameron, who?
I don't know, but Cameron is a Gemini. Who was a Gemini with you? Oh, Maya was also a Leo. Just
I'll read mine.
so you're right there with Cameron
These people
on the bottom right, almost top above the bottom right.
Gemini. The fuck is that freckle guy?
He's
Cameron?
yeah.
I don't know who the hell it is.
Cameron's got a lot of freckles.
Okay. Gemini, love. Keep your eyes peeled. You have a secret admirer crushing on you.
Oh shit!
Friends, when you feel left out by your crew, know that it's not intentional. Voice your concern and they'll shape up. School.
Okay.
You've really matured over the break. It'll show in your grades. If your crush is a Gemini guy, he likes to be the center of attention, but more than anything, he just wants to have fun. Good thing, because you're hysterical.
And you give up the punani every night.
Yeah, mine was boring. I want a refund.
So mine is Luke. He has a lip ring. Luke with a lip ring.
Wow.
Bad boy.
Yeah. Cancer. Love. You have a natural charm that will make the new boy at school drawn to you. Fucking right I do.
Yeah.
Oh, Good just texted me. Friends, you have a tendency to pull all of your friends ahead of you.
Good to know.
That's great, but make sure you look after yourself too. If you don't, you'll burn out really quickly. I mean, that's kind of true.
Sure.
I tend to put everybody else in front of myself. Yeah.
And you do text a lot.
School. Math is where you'll really make your mark. What the fuck is this? Is this about me? Like, Jesus Christ.
Are they nailing you?
They are literally nailing QuizFest. Dude, I am now a subscriber.
Yeah. You're like a teenage girl.
Jesus,
They know you.
I've accused them of that before.
Math is where you'll really make your mark. Your skills with numbers will send you right to the top of the class. Congrats. Well, fucking hell. If your crush is a Cancer guy. If your crush has cancer? No. Just call him Mr. Romantic. Once he knows you're crushing, he'll go out of his way to do sweet little gestures for you. Finger. All right.
That can't all be right.
Hey. It's true. We're done with this fucking thing. I can't even look at. There's so many pastels and pinks and yellows in this thing.
Hurts my eyes.
I think I'm gonna go fucking. Wait a minute. Oh, this is like guy profiles. Who's Nash Grier? Okay, I don't know. Anyways,
You're not going to save any of this for next time?
no. I mean, I'm gonna throw this away. I paid $5 for this fucking thing.
I feel like Waffle needs to hear some of these quizzes.
Oh God. Well, he's also a teenage girl, so he'd fit right in.
He's so kawaii.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on this extended podcast to make up for
Yes,
last week.
it was an extra long one, but this was
It was worth
fun. Yeah, I completely agree.
I gotta pee. Really bad for the last half hour.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, oh, we're almost done. Oh,
Almost,
no,
maybe not.
We're not almost done.
Thank you, everyone, for sending in emails, and to everyone whose email we read. If you want yours to be considered, and if you want to take a shot at the secret word of the week for the subject, that's
I've already got it.
podcast@nerdfusion.tv. You can subscribe to the podcast at n3f.tv/podcast. Thank you to everyone who has given reviews and stuff. That's kind of you. And we will be back next week. No word yet on when this will return to live, but we do intend to do them live again once upon a time eventually.
Once the set is done, we'll do them live.
Yep. And until then, enjoy Horror Month, guys, and thanks for listening.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
bye, guys.